Hello, this is KD0BUI for a commentary on Infinite Isle. On the right side of the map we have Eminence, our blue Empire player, and on the left side of the map we have Suck or Die, aka Kivi, that's his foreign name for GameReplay.org, as the Green Soviets, opening with one barrack first into a reactor. I will assume it's an eco again, since he's building walls at both of his main base refinery there, while he cancels the refinery to build another one on the downside of the another refinery at the other one. So I assume that he prefers one refinery over another, while our Empire player is opening with 3 dojo core into 2 refinery, the exact same build that he did in the last game. This is the second game of the series, by the way, by both of these players. This is a fun game that I played on last Saturday, as I have mentioned in the previous replay. And the second dojo core coming into this position, trying to cover this dojo core to produce enough Imperial Warriors to protect it against bears. Well, they do want to, bite up the engineer that comes out of it. And one of the flank troopers changing to his secondary ability here is going to destroy the dojo core. One of the dojo cores roaming around, and not before he dies though, because the Empire player did choose the Honorable Discharge secret protocol for his forces, and with that I think he would take this second war Derek as well, because simply too late for the Soviet player to actually come into any form of positioning to kill off the engineer, and I don't think he has enough time to kill off this dojo before the engineer comes out. And indeed the engineer is coming out and is occupying one of the war Dereks here, and the Empire did get a early economical advantage just a bit over his opponents here, while his opponents, the Soviet player, is looking to build a super reactor, now finishing it, just finalizing it, and he does have a tech advantage over his opponents at this particular point of the game, although the mega bay of the Empire player is very early, so he can be taking up right now, which I think that's exactly what he's doing, and he has produced a 3rd refinery core, moving into his waterside expansion here, looking for a economical upper hand of his opponents here. And his opponent, the Soviet player Kivi, is now just erecting up his war factory, which is way behind. However, once he finishes it, he can be starting to produce hammer tank, which is very helpful if you want to kill off your opponent, obviously. And the Empire player has produced 1 Tengu, looking to move in for some harassment here. Oh, is the Tengu's secondary ability on cooldown? If it is, then it would not be able to prevent this engineer from occupying back this order here. And can he kill it off before he gets into the building? And yes, indeed he did. And now the Empire player has a economical lead over his opponents, and he's not behind tech. Keep in mind that he was using his units to the best of his ability to draw off the Soviet player's attention and slow down his builds mechanically as far as the Empire player can humanly do, and he was using that time to take out his mega blade. And hold their thoughts, he has produced a dot core, so he's looking for a C transition here. Oh, very smart in the recognition, in terms of the recognition of the terrains there. 2 of the possible refinery location for the Soviet players are in the water, so a navy would certainly be very nice in terms of harassment and killing off key buildings there, and smartly denying the scouting information from bears for the Soviet player, using 1 Tengu here, driving the bear away. I think a bear is going to... it's going to stop. I was going to say that it's eventually going to draw the Tengu inside of the Soviet player's main base, and the Tengu will be trashed by the hammer tank, but well, it can live off, so it's not just. And we see the Empire player now is enjoying his economical advantages producing units left and right, looking for very firm map control. It seems to be the style of our Empire player Eminence here, just looking for map control and look for just straight up battles to overcome his opponents with the units of variety and mobility of the Imperial forces there. And indeed, he is planning to use that variety. He has produced one Trouble VX, is moving across the map looking for straying of hammer tanks to attack, I would assume. At this particular point of the game, the Soviet player does not really have a particular large anti-air force, if not zilch. If you disregard this flank troopers here, the anti-air force for the Soviet player is basically zero there. So the Empire player is, I think he's recognizing that he's going to move in, trying to destroy the hammer tank, look for a nice little free grab here, and with 2 tankers landing supporting the VXs to kill off in the form of killing off infantries, the flank troopers, namely the VXs will be able to do maximum damage in his whole existence, which is what he's built for. And the Empire player is not utilizing his dog spray at the moment. He's just focusing on producing chopper VXs, looking for some good air harassment there. And with a barrack destroyed, the Soviet player has fought himself enough time to produce up a bullfrogs, nearly killing off the striker VXs there, but not quite. It literally only has 1 HP remains, which is hysterical. So the Empire player is just keeping up with his production of VXs, and now he is sitting on the VX count of 3, and he has been doing something with his Imperial dogs. We'll see what he comes out. What would it be? Oh, it is the Naganeta cruiser. So while I was talking nonsense, thinking that he was not utilizing his dogs, completely forgetting it, he has been taken up to tier 3. Tier 2, and he has produced a Naganeta cruiser. It's going to move all the way to his opponent's waterside expansion. They are looking to attack the miners and destroy the refinery even. Given the condition, if he can destroy the Tesla coil here to prevent his navy being shot to pieces by it, and we see 3 VXs against 1 bullfrog, is going to do a very good job of destroying that. And the bullfrog, before dying, ejects the terror drones out of it, and the 3 VXs are not looking to attack the miner there. I don't see the exact reason as of why, but hey, it's the decision of a programmer. What do I have to say on that? Why do I have to say on that? What say do I have on that? Yes, that's the right expression to be said. Excuse me. And we see the Empire player has been producing out tsunami tanks out of his mega base and is moving across the water with his Naganeta cruiser here. Nearly has made his way to his opponent's main base. Although I think a bit of misrallying or miscontrolling there is going to reveal this cruiser to his opponents. The secrecy of the secret attack has been revealed to the Soviet player, although if the Empire player can draw his opponent's attention long enough for him to move his cruiser in, he would be in a very good shape. But since the cruiser moves so slowly, it will be owned by Tesla drones, just because they have such amazing freezing capability. And the Soviet player has moved his MCV to the center of the map, looking to expand there, freezing the cruiser as well, using his secret protocol to kill it off. Not quite, but bring it down to the red. So if you can bring up another terror drone, which I think he's going to do, it's going to be, this cruiser is going to be infected and eventually taken out with 1 terror drone. Very annoying, very unpleasant if you happen to be the Empire player Eminence. And the Empire player, I don't think it doesn't matter though. You see, he has a very, and I do mean very, large unit counts. He has 5 VXs, oh my god, and 3 tsunami tanks. Is the Soviet player actually going to be overrun by this? But disregarding that, regardless, the MCV of the Soviet player is looking very likely to be taken out by the missiles from the VXs here, even crushing a tsunami tank unsuccessfully here. So yeah, the Soviet player is just now scrambling, trying to erect up a sufficient number of anti-air before the VXs can do critical damage to its ground forces, since the Empire player is following it up with a large number of tank busters, but the infantry do move too slowly. So the time when they actually got there, the Soviet players already has a very large anti-air count, so the VXs wasn't able to do anything, and the Soviet players do have a fairly large ground forces, which I might add the tanks are able to crush the tank busters there, so it wasn't going to be a good idea for the Empire player to engage it directly. Although the Empire player is biding himself time here, he has a fourth refinery of his own and in the center of the map as well. And the refinery count, although now is equal, keep in mind that the Soviet player has lost his MCV, so it's going to be pretty unpleasant for him to try to come back from that. And especially with the fact that the Empire player is now pressing his frontal with a very large tank buster front, and continually just reinforcing the count of tsunami tanks here, although one of them is going to be infected. That's going to put a little doubt into the Empire player's mind. But the Empire player brilliantly is going to move two of his VXs to the waterside expansion of the Empire player here, destroying a Tesla coil which the Soviet player does not have any means of rebuilding. And if the Empire player is wise enough, he will move this particular cruiser to the waterside expansion here, looking to deny this expansion forever, and it's going to be 3 refinery down over to 4 of the Empire player. The Soviet player is looking to be in a very dire shape here. He has to make maximum use of his units. He cannot allow the Tesla Dome to get into range of those 3 tank busters here. He'll be shot to pieces instantly. So basically the Soviet player is just trying to scramble his forces and try to build up a critical number of units so that he can make a counter push that will practically end the game. There is no real other possibilities for him to come back in this particular game unless he can draw the attention of the Empire player long enough for him to reproduce an MCV, which is looking very unlikely, and going by how well the Empire player was playing in the previous game, and regarding his playstyle, which is very pressuring, very but macro center playstyle. I don't think the Empire player is going to loosen up in this particular matter. He's not going to lose up with this pressure here. The Soviet player is just continually being pressured here. He's looking to produce a Terrordome to make maximum use of his army, just to put the combat efficiency up that much so that he can be much of this very scary looking Imperial army here. And the Empire player is just now continually reinforcing with his unit count, and it's going to eventually get to a very large number that the Soviet player is going to get completely overwhelmed here. Keep in mind that the Imperial dog of the Empire player can also produce tsunami tanks, so if the Empire player so desires, he can produce tsunami tanks out of both his Mega Bay and his dogs. So the unit production rate of the Imperial forces here is pretty scary. The Soviet player will eventually get overwhelmed if he's not very, and I do mean very, efficient with his army. He basically has to kill out of his entire army here with bare minimal losses and make one counter push that will turn the tide of the game entirely around, which is looking very unlikely, which is looking very likely and looking to be the only choice for the Soviet player here, since the Empire player is moving his cruiser to the waterside expansion, looking to destroy the all refinery here, and it's now going down to 3 refinery on 4. So the Soviet player is making a desperate attempt of crushing the infantry, namely the tank busters. Those are the ones that's really threatening now of the Imperial forces here. Although the tank positioning of the Empire player is making so very uneasy for the Soviet player to do, and brilliantly the Empire player managed to take out all the hammer tank with bare minimal losses, and he still have a very scary army, excuse me, a bit of glitch there, army and the capability of reinforcing that is pressing against the front stall. And the Soviet player recognizing that it's going to GG out of this game. Brilliant play by the by the Empire player here. Although the Soviet player has done a reasonably good job, it's certainly not something I can do personally, of averting the win of the Imperial forces this much longer than I would have been able to. But hey, those are the good ones. I am but a inferior commentator. What do I have to say? I'll see you next time.